Good evening, everyone. So, I, if anybody knows me, they know I'm ambiance. Ambiance is very important to me. I like a cozy evening at home. I like to make the best out of my living situation. I really enjoy ambiance, right? Candles, fireplaces, fire pits, especially like decor, like Christmas decor and whatever. And so tonight, because I need to start making space in the storage room anyway. So tonight, I decided to do this. I felt I've been in the creative mood, so I just figured, you know what, why not? So I had an idea. I was hoping to have people over, guests, at some point to use the deck for this summer, and maybe host men's poker night here this month, or hopefully maybe even have a few people over for 4th of July or whatever. So I decided to get creative, because if I don't get creative, I really get depressed, and I really need to be able to vent my creativity. So this is what I did. I know you're gonna think I'm crazy. I don't care, probably am. This isn't Christmas in July, no. I just took all the bows off of it and I used it as regular potted trees, right? And I hung up the lanterns, okay? And I did this. This is an all season, we use it for parties and stuff. So I decided to put this out here on the covered deck, because I have a plan. First of all, it looks nice. I like to be able to come out here and have my tea and read my Bible, do my rosary with some ambiance, some candles, whatever, right? And white lights always look classy. Right up next door, we have a wedding venue, and they have stuff like this all year round for people to take photos with and walk around the gardens and stuff and take, photos. What is that? Is that the moon? Yep. Beautiful night, very hot and muggy. It's feels like it's 90 degrees. But anyway, I figured I'd use the candles, and look how cool that looks. Look how cozy, like being in another world, like a hobbit town or something, right? And look how dark it is out here. Look how quiet it is in the park at night. So, and it's only around 9 o'clock, 9:30. It's actually 9:36 right now. So, I'm here alone, and Donna would love this. She would enjoy this as well. So I know it looks Christmassy, but it's also classy and fun. Why not? And so here's my plan. I'm going to go to the dollar store. If I don't have any, I think I actually have some, but if I don't, I'm going to get out my patriotic, 4th of July flags and bows and stuff, and I'm going to decorate this tree and that tree with patriotic American flags and bows and stuff like that to make it a 4th of July tree, a summer tree, maybe even some summer things, some summer ornaments and stuff like that, so it can stay out all season, and we can have some pretty ambiance and light. It's just something to look at when you sit here and have dinner, and why not? Why not enjoy what we have? Just because we live in a trailer park and we're poor doesn't mean we can't utilize the decorations we have and bring some stuff from inside outside and make a cozy little beautiful atmosphere for myself and for the dog and for Donna when she comes home, because I have a feeling she'll be coming home probably soon, and she's gonna love this. She loves when I do stuff like this. So she loves to stay outside a lot, and so she's usually always on this porch during the summertime, even if it's hot, thunderstorms, whatever. Okay, look how pretty the sky looks. Now, to the naked eye, it's not nearly that bright. Like, it doesn't look like that. I can't see that with my naked eye. But on the camera, the sky looks like it's still a sunset, like it's beautiful. And so see how pretty it is, so magical, with the candles and the ambiance and the moon up there. I mean, this is so romantic. See, I really wish I had a wife to enjoy these things with, someone who's like me, who appreciates this type of stuff, who's creative and wants to live somewhere like this and do this all the time, and enjoy life, enjoy the beautiful earth that God created for us to build up and enjoy. Life is always going to have problems and stuff. I mean, right now I'm in a lot of pain with my back and whatever, but it's little things like this that really make the difference, and it's fun, and it's creative and it's classy. I don't care if it looks like it's Christmas. It's not Christmas decorations. The tree, but people put white lights and stuff all the time. They put white lights on their bushes and stuff, so whether it looks like Christmas or not, who cares? There's something called Christmas in July, so if you want to say that, I did it for 4th of July. And this way, if I have company, because I never have any guests or friends or church people come over anymore, I think my ministry page scares them off. But if they do ever stop by and want to have some coffee or beer or tea or something on my deck and with me, or dinner, fire up the grill, whatever, it's ready for entertainment, the citronelle candles, and it's just, we were blessed to have a nice covered deck, and we already had these decorations and stuff in storage. Why not, use them? If anybody complains about it, they're just going to complain because they're jealous. That's all. People get jealous. It's a sad thing. It's sad. But look at this. The neighbors have put up Christmas lights last month. And they, over here, this house, they usually have the same twinkling colored lights all over their deck as well. So if everybody else has lights out and stuff, why can't I? And look how pretty it looks from all across the park. Everybody's going to be able to see this. Everybody can enjoy it. But unfortunately, somebody will complain and say it's bright or bothering them, or it's stupid because somebody has their Christmas decorations up. Well, I can't exactly sit out here in 20-degree weather when it's freezing cold and snowy and wind blowing. We can't enjoy the deck come October, November, December, all the way through March, because it's really, really windy and really cold, just miserable, biting cold and wind, okay? So we can only really enjoy it from April, May, June, July, August, September, and then maybe a little into October, but then that's about it. It gets really cold and miserable. So, and we pay a lot of money to live here in this mobile home park. So, again, why not, right? Hold on, I want to show you something else. So, in addition to that, I already had these. These are the normal lights. Okay, but look how awesome that looks. Candles, deck lights, Christmas lights. Or I don't call them Christmas lights, I call them all season, because it's just white lights on trees. So what? There's no Christmas decorations. And I just think it's so beautiful. Look at this. Look what I created. I live in a trailer. I'm not feeling well. I'm all alone. I'm miserable, depressed, bored, poor, in a lot of pain from my health issues. But I was still able to entertain myself tonight and put this together, since I had to move the stuff around anyway to get to the storage room. I figured, let me just get them out of the way and put them out on the deck right now while I'm cleaning out the storage room. And then you know what? Why not just keep them out here and use them in case company comes over, and have a pretty place to entertain. I mean, look how inviting that looks. Look how cozy that is, So why not? I can't wait to go take a shower, because the mosquitoes are killing me right now. It's super hot and humid right now. But it's 90 degrees even inside the trailer right now, even with the air conditioner going. It's really, really hot and humid. So I figured, you know what? Let me treat myself and do something creative and pretty. And if somebody complains and the park complains, oh, you can't put Christmas decorations up all year. Why? Call it Christmas in July. Call it I'm having a party. Call it 4th of July, who cares? Why should anybody complain? Like I said, the neighbors have Christmas lights out that are twinkling, and they're all different colors. They're literally colored Christmas lights that blink and twinkle. And they have them on their decks. These people shut theirs off already tonight, but they were on earlier. They're usually on at night. And these other people over here, see, they still have theirs on, see? Look, Christmas lights. Mine aren't Christmas, So, anyway, look at the moon up there. It looks like something out of a Disney movie or a Disney attraction, you know? Like, it looks like something that would be down south, like in a bayou, like in the French Quarters, or in New Orleans bayou. Like, imagine a shack with a porch in the middle of a swamp with a beautiful blue sky in the background and the moon. The only thing that's missing is the frogs and the crickets. But I could fix that because, say, I have CDs that have crickets and wolves and frogs and cicadas and stuff. So I often put on my CDs in the living room, and I just play like either crickets and wolves, nighttime ambiance, you know, frogs, frog chorus, or thunderstorms, or last night was a crackling fire. And sometimes I do ocean waves, like, you know, beach. I have a CD that sounds like the beach. And, you know, you got to make your own happiness, especially when you're me. I don't have money to go out anywhere and do anything. I don't have a girlfriend or a wife. I don't have a social life or friends. I don't have a family. Donna's been gone for a while in rehab. She'll be there for a while more. So I'm here alone, home alone. You know, why not? Why not enjoy the deck? This is my home too, you know. It's where I've been living for 5.5 years. Why not make the most of it? You know, why does it have to just be a dark, dingy deck? Why can't it be a pretty little oasis, you know, like all the rich people? And matter of fact, I get these ideas because when I go down to the rich area in town, now along the beach, all those beach cottages have these lights hanging, okay, on their porches and in their backyard with their little bonfires near the beach. And they put white lights on everything like this, and so they have things like this, and they turn their little backyard and back patios into these beautiful little oases for them to hang out and entertain. And I've always done this. Like, this is what I've done my whole life. Even at my parents' house, we had a big house at a big property with a big in-ground pool, and there were lights on all, not just for Christmas. Christmas was super done up. All the holidays were super done up by me. But even in the summertime, the back deck had lights on it, all the trees and the bushes, and the swimming pool had palm trees with lights and everything. The pool lit up, and it was a place. It was like a resort, and that's what I'm used to. And I guess I was spoiled growing up a little above average with my parents, and my house was like the party house, you know. It was really classy, but, you know, it was just, my family never wanted to go out because of the bugs or the humidity or the heat, or they were bored or tired or whatever. So I had a lot of my high school friends come over all the time, and we would enjoy my parents' yard. We would camp. We would do bonfires all the time in the backyard, campfires and s'mores and grill, and we'd put up tents, and we'd play beer pong, and we'd go swimming all night long till 3, 4 in the morning in the swimming pool. And so I'm used to doing this wherever I go. Even in my other trailer, when I lived over there 6 years ago, I had these really cool white lights on the deck. Okay, I had a big deck like this with white lights all around it, and the problem there was these trees that were hanging over, and there was always a lot of spiders. And so they finally cut the trees down after I moved out, of course, but they wouldn't do it when I asked them. And I found these really cool, like, twinkling lights like this, but I put them in the trees, okay, all around my trailer, and it looked like downtown Disneyland. It looked like fireflies. There were firefly lights, green, blinking, randomly blinking lights. So every time, and I was in the front of the park, so every time people would drive by, they'd stop and see all my twinkling lights and everything in my yard, and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's really unique. I thought they were really fireflies. I was wondering why all the fireflies were just in your yard," because I wrapped the trees with these firefly lights. But then the new owners, I left them almost everything, thousands of dollars and stuff, and they just took it all down and made the place look like a dump. And they probably sold everything or pawned it or whatever, who knows, but it doesn't look nearly as nice as it was. I had lavish gardening, landscaping all around the place, and now it just looks like trash piled everywhere. Like, literally, it looks like a garbage dump. And I'm like, why? Just because we live in a trailer doesn't mean we have to be trailer trash. They're Chinese, the people over there are white, but, you know, people don't, why not class it up? Like, Don and I are poor, right? But we have these things already. We've had them over the years. Why not put them out and enjoy our little... Because this is our house. This is my life. This is it. I live in a trailer park. I'm all alone. Why not try to enjoy something, you know? Why do I have to sit in the trailer miserable with no cable and no air conditioning and just be like, this sucks, I'm bored, I have no life, you know? What do I do? Just sit here in a hot box and with no life, no wife, no kids, no girlfriend, no family, no friends to visit me? So I made my own little oasis. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my life the best I can with what little I still have. Okay? I'm in pain all the time, whatever, but if I can do little things like this, and it's beautiful and I'm enjoying my night, so I figured I'd just make a video and show you all and maybe inspire the creative person in all of you. I don't care. And I mean, this would look awesome for Christmas time too, but why wait for Christmas? It's 4th of July, okay? I'm going to put the 4th of July red, white, and blue ornaments and flags and stuff on here and make a patriotic tree on these two trees. So the whole deck is patriotic for 4th of July. And I'm going to do the best. I'll probably be here alone by myself, as usual, because nobody ever comes to my parties and nobody ever hangs out with me or whatever. So it's just me and Maverick. But you know what? And if Donna comes back home soon, which I think she will, she's going to love this. She loves when I do stuff like this because she sits out here. I can't get her in the house. From like April to like October, Donna's out here on the porch reading her books, eating her food on this table. Like, we just love being outside. But right now it is super hot and humid and buggy. There's mosquitoes everywhere. And the lights are definitely attracting every bug in the dark park. See how dark the park is? So we're like a beacon of hope. It looks a little bit of heaven on earth in the trailer park. So, but there's always going to be some Karen, I call them, or some negative, jealous neighbor that's going to say, complain to the park management, oh, it's too bright, I'm trying to sleep, or oh, he's wasting electricity, or oh, it's stupid, he's got Christmas decorations up all year, that looks stupid. Really, it just comes from a place of jealousy because nobody else has a nice deck like this. So otherwise they would be enjoying their deck too. Nobody else really has. Actually, there's a few people who have big decks, but they're not covered, and they never use them. They don't even have furniture, nothing. What a shame to have a big deck like this and never go outside, never use it. I mean, I'm gonna use it, and I really wish that I had enough of this stuff to have the inside of the house look like this. Like, I wish I had enough money to get all these things and decorate the porch and the inside of the house so that everywhere I go looks like a winter wonderland or like a, you know, some kind of a retreat, some kind of like a Disney resort type of thing. Again, why live mediocre or boring and poor just because you're poor and you live in a trailer? Why not enjoy what you can, you know? I mean, what if I die tomorrow? Would I then ever get to do anything creative? So I notice that I get depression if I don't stimulate myself, because I love being creative. I love decorating. I love, you know, design. I'm wasting my talents because I can't work and stuff, and because my life right now, nobody will hire me. But when I used to work for companies and stuff, I was always in charge of doing the decor. In fact, at seminary, I made the whole seminary look like this. I did the whole area our order lived looked amazing. Everyone's like, it's never looked so good. Who did all this, Steve? Huh. Well, who has the time to do all that? I mean, with all my studies. And I'm like, oh, please. You guys just don't have the interest in doing it, you know? So I did it. And everybody loved it until they heard I did it. And then they were like, oh, well, it's stupid. It's overkill. It's tacky. It's unnecessary. And it's like, you all loved it until you found out I did it. And then you just started trashing it. So, whatever. People are just people. Whatever. So, anyway, that's my night. And again, all this started because I needed to move stuff onto the porch so I can get to stuff in the back storage room. And all the Christmas trees and stuff were in the way. And I'm like, you know what? I got to take them out anyway, and figure out what I'm going to do with them. You know, how to store them better so I can make better use of the storage room. And then I'm like, you know what? Why not just keep them out here for a little while and enjoy it for 4th of July? And maybe some people come over. And we'll put some hamburgers on the grill over here that Steven Six got me for free. And, you know, why not have some people over? I've been trying to have a group of guys from church, men's night, okay, where they'll come here and we can talk about the Bible. We can pray rosaries together. We can have some beers if you want. I'm not a big drinker, but, and make some steaks or whatever on the grill. If everybody brings a little food and some dessert, whatever, we can have a bunch of guys come over and be Catholic men together and just enjoy a weekend night or whatever, a weeknight or something. And because we do like the poker nights at different people's houses, and I've done like 3 or 4 here already over the past couple of years, but lately nobody wants to come here anymore, probably because it's a trailer park. I mean, whatever. But I always do this. Like, I do it up for these guys so it looks like this, when they come. And a lot of these guys are sourpusses. They come and oh, that's unnecessary. I mean, what's with all this? So why couldn't we just play poker on the porch? Like, why do we have to have all this? I'm like, are you jealous? Like, why not? When you come to someone's house for a poker night, do you want just a plain old boring, normal, as usual poker night? Or do you want to have a beautiful ambiance with fans blowing on you and music and lights and catering? I mean, why not? I just don't understand why some people have to be buzzkills. They have to make negative comments about everything. They can't be appreciative. And that's the thing. I have these talents, and nobody ever appreciates it. They never really give me a chance to shine and do what I do best. I have a lot of artistic talents. I can sing. I used to be able to dance. I'm an actor. I was a model. I can write. I can decorate. I can design. I mean, I do everything artistic. I love it. It just comes natural to me. God gave me these gifts for a reason, to glorify Him and to do something with it. And nobody ever appreciates it. So I do it for myself. And you know what? If Jesus is with me and He's seeing all this, then He gets to have a nice trailer to come and hang out with me as well. So I think that this is a porch fit for the King of Kings, because in heaven it's all glorious. Then He comes down here to a rundown trailer park, and it's not so fit. It's not so fit for the King, but He's humble. He doesn't care. But still, why not? So tonight, when I get out of the shower, I'm going to come out here and have my tea and sit here and maybe do my rosary with all this pretty ambiance I just set up. And it'll be me and Jesus and Maverick enjoying our night on the porch in the middle of the trailer park. What the point of this is, bloom where you're planted, do the best you can, stop trying to lower the bar and be mediocre or whatever. Go the extra mile, even if it's only for yourself, because otherwise most people don't appreciate anything anyway, or they get jealous. And if you can't wait for people to bring you flowers, you got to grow your own garden, right? And so if I have to be alone all the time, no social life, no friends, no girlfriend, no nothing, poor, whatever, I'm going to try to enjoy it. If I have to live in this trailer park, then it's going to be the nicest trailer park in the park. Okay, that's just how I roll. Am I being worldly materialistic? Maybe, maybe not. I'm just trying to be positive and have a good time with, what God has given me. Do the best I can with what little God has given me. And I think it looks cool. So I'm just going to give you a quick, again, we're not trying to do a Christmas in July theme, but it would be cool. If somebody makes fun of it, I'll just say, yeah, Christmas in July. But tomorrow, when I finish putting the patriotic decorations on these trees, there's going to be like American flags and like red bows and blue bows, and it's going to be a patriotic tree for the holiday. And I made a nice cozy, pretty, we got the candles, we got the lights, we got the, and I think it's awesome. I think it's a cozy, inviting deck on the trailer to want to spend some time. I do wish that I had friends and family to come over and spend time with me and enjoy these things that I do, because here's the rest of the park, okay? I'll just give you a tour. Here's the rest of the park. I just did a 360, or I just did a 180, okay? And then there's my place. So, yeah. I'm trying to make the best of it. See how dark the park is? My house is like the only one that ever has lights on. It's the only place that ever, it's like a shining beacon of hope and positivity and cheer and joy in the middle of a miserable, dark, dank, stinky run-down trailer park. So if you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden you come to my house and, yep, it's a place that looks like a Macy's Day Christmas show or airport runway. Yeah, that's where Steve lives. And again, it irritates a lot of the neighbors because they can't do this because they don't have the same, setup, and some people just don't bother anyway. They don't want to save on electricity, or they just don't have the talent to do it, or they don't feel like putting the time and effort into it, or they don't have the stuff to do it, or some people are just not creative. So, yeah, we're all set for Christmas, in case it never comes this year. And you never know, when you're going to live or die, or if there's going to be World War III or what. So might as well use the stuff now and not wait till December. And again, it doesn't have to be for Christmas. It's for 4th of July, so that I can have a nice 4th of July on my deck. Me and my dog and Jesus. And, because I'm not going to go to the fireworks and all that stuff. Most of them have already come and gone anyway. I don't like crowds and all that stuff and traffic. So I'll bring the fireworks to me. And it's going to look really cool when I put the American flags on here and the red and blue bows and all that stuff. It'll be a red, white, and blue tree. And it'll be all set for 4th of July. Now, if only I can get a few people to come here and spend time with me. Hold on. I just shut them big lights off and just keep these ones on. I gotta go and take a shower now because I'm soaked with sweat. It is hot and humid out here and there's bugs everywhere. So just blow out all the candles. Until I gotta make dinner, take a shower, and then I might come out here and turn the lights on again and do my rosary or whatever tonight. Hopefully it'll cool down a little bit because this humidity is really bad. I mean, it says that it's 63 degrees, but it feels like it's 90. It really does, at least to me. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I've been doing a lot of work and it's really, really hot in the house. Like, it literally says 80 something on the wall in the house. So I came out here to get a little fresh air and to do all this. So hopefully people will come over for 4th of July, or maybe this coming weekend. I'm sure people already did their 4th of July parties this past weekend. But who knows? It's kind of dumb to celebrate after the fact. A lot of people, I think most people get it off anyway, so I'm sure during the week people will be having it, but nobody will be coming to my place. Here's the thing, all these years, like even when I lived at my parents' house, we would go and like really super decorate the yard and rent these big tents, like, those tents that you can have a wedding under, and we'd get it like all this food and lights and fireworks and everything, right? And I would invite everybody I know. And nobody would come. And it would just be me sitting there in the backyard. And my dad would be like, is anybody coming? And, we put all this time and effort for weeks and all this money into it. And you don't have any friends that want to come? And I'm like, and you know what? Shame on them, because they don't realize what they're missing out on. Because every year, every Christmas, every birthday, every holiday, I really do it up like this, and nobody shows up. If they would only show up and see, they would want to come, and they would tell other people to come and say, hey, this is really cool, it's a really nice spread, he really did a good job, there's food, there's catering, there's tents, there's a swimming pool, there's lights everywhere, he's got, expensive fireworks, him and his family really do it up, like we should have come, the party we're at is really lame and boring, but nobody ever comes to see. And so by the time they come, it's all cleaned up and put away, And so what a waste, And that happened to me so many times in my life. And you would think my parents and my family would at least come and enjoy it, and say, okay, well, we'll enjoy it then, But they're like, nah, we'll just stay home and watch TV and stay in the nice air conditioning. You enjoy it, Steve. And I'm like, so I'm just going to sit out here in your yard amongst all this stuff, the only guy at a party. Like, it's almost like being a bride being left at the altar, on her wedding day. And so I ended up, I stopped doing this for people because I like to entertain people, and I like to throw soirees when I can and just try to make people happy, and use my talents, but nobody ever comes. Nobody comes. Nobody sees what I can do. Nobody gives me a chance. So hopefully we'll be able to have a poker night or something soon. Or like I said, forget poker. Like I keep telling the guys, I'm like, why don't we just stop coming to play poker, and why don't we just have a men's night where we hang out as guys, maybe watch a religious film or sit on the porch, and you can bring your alcohol, and you can, we can pray a rosary, or we can just not do much at all. Just hang out and have some beers, use the grill, make some hamburgers and hot dogs and steaks and whatever, and just have a guy's night. Like, why not? We have a nice big porch here. You got a big living room here with the TV and a DVD player. I mean, I got radios and stereos. I mean, I know it's not a big house in Madison, Connecticut on the water, but like some of these guys have, but honestly, I've been to some of these people's houses and they're so small and congested and clogged up with furniture. You can't even fit anybody in there. It's like everybody's on top of each other, and everybody has to get up from the table just so you can get up and use the bathroom. It's like, okay, you're having 8-10 guys come and into one bedroom full of all this junk. But yeah, I have this huge sprawling porch and a big mobile home with a big double wide living room and a fireplace and all these couches and a big kitchen table and big kitchen, and we have a big place here. Nobody wants to come. I don't get it. You know what it is? If I was one of the cool guys approved by everybody in the church, it wouldn't matter if I lived in a tent or a box on the side of the road. Everybody would show up. But because I'm Steve Dinello and I'm not one of the cool guys or one of the, in crowd, it doesn't matter if I throw on a circus or, live in Taj Mahal. They won't show up. It kind of reminds me of that parable that Jesus was talking about when he said, when the king went to throw a big feast and he invited everybody, and nobody came. They all gave him excuses. Oh, I got a wedding. Oh, I bought a cow. Oh, I got to go to a funeral. Oh, I'm tired, whatever. And so he said, you know what? If my people won't come, then you know what? I'm going to send my servants to go out to the streets. Go and get every homeless person and you can find and invite them. And we'll have a big feast. And they'll appreciate it more. Go invite a bunch of strangers. Because the people who should be here, the people who know me, who should care about me, who should support me and want to be here, don't want to be here. So forget them. And what Jesus meant by that parable was also the Jewish people. They were the ones that were the chosen people of God, and they were the ones that crucified him. And so they were the ones that were supposed to get what he was trying to do and be the first ones in the kingdom. And, they knew the law. They lived it. They were Pharisees and Sadducees, but they rejected Christ. So Jesus said, you know what then? If my chosen people rejected me, then go out to the Gentiles. Go out to the lost sheep, the heathens, the pagans, and bring them in. And then he even said to the Pharisees, he said, verily I say to you, there's tax collectors and prostitutes entering the kingdom before you. People like Mary Magdalene and others who were great, terrible sinners, and they ended up becoming Christians and being saved and getting to heaven, became saints and apostles and disciples because they were so unworthy and they knew that, and yet Jesus still gave them a chance and they took it. They weren't stupid. Wait, I have a chance to still go to heaven after all I've done? Count me in. I'm done. Let's go. But the Pharisees and Sadducees, the religious, they were so religious, so, holier than thou. They knew everything. Nobody's better than them. And so they missed the opportunity. Now they're the ones that are getting rejected and left out, even though they were chosen and highly favored and blessed. And it's the people like me, the losers, the white trash trailer folks, the pagans, everybody who screwed up. Those are the ones that Jesus came to save. So we have an awesome God, an awesome Savior. That's why he said, I came for the sinners. I came for the sick. It's the sick who need the heavenly physician. So it makes sense, I guess, what God's doing in my life. But I guess it also, every time I complain to him, I'm like, Lord, why is nobody, even in my church, I can't even get my priest to want to hang out with me anymore. Like, what is going on? And I keep hearing these parables in my head. Like, listen, Stephen, they did it to me too. So if they did it to the Son of God, they're certainly going to do it to you. You're not greater than your master. No slave is greater than their master. So you should expect it. What they did to me, they're going to do to you and worse. And, you know, I find that people in church, like my priests and my parishioners, they behave like Pharisees and Sadducees. And they treat me like I'm Mary Magdalene or a tax collector. And, you know, they don't want to have anything to do with me or hang out with me. I'm not part of the popular in crowd. I'm not favored by the priests. You know, I don't get to sit at the table with the priests and stuff at every church picnic with the same old in crowd, the same old people smoking their cigars. And, you know, I can't even get to the priest because he's always surrounded by a group of the same old people. Those who work in the office and then his friends, you know. And I'm never allowed to sit at the popular kids' table. I had to go through 12 years of hell in school, never being able to sit at the popular table. And now, even in church, I'm still the one who's the outcast, the leper, the one who sits by himself with all the old people. You know, I never get to sit with the guys. I never get to sit with the priests. I never get to sit with the popular people. And so, when I invite people to Don and I's home, every year, several times a year, I say, hey, let's have a church function here, or hey, why don't we do a movie night, or hey, can we rent the hall and do a movie night there for a guys group? I'm trying to start a men's group, whatever. Nobody wants to do it because it's me doing it. But if Father Hashish or Father Turner or one of these in-crowd people, one of these popular kids in our school or our church, if they decided to do it, everybody would be there. But I'm not respected or loved or appreciated by anybody in my parish or my own family or by my priests. And so it is very lonely, guys. It really is. And if I am crazy, as people think, can you blame me? Do you know what it does to somebody after 45 years of ostracized and alienation, always being treated like the leper? It's been 45 years of this and it hasn't changed. And I thought that once I really became a devout Catholic, that would all change. I thought if I went to seminary, that would all change. I'd earn the respect and love of people. They'd see that I had value, you know? Nope. I don't know what it is with you people, I really don't, but shame on you. Because, you know what? Jesus said, what you do to the least of these, you do unto me. I'm that homeless man on the side of the street. I'm the beggar. I'm the lonely, the widow, the orphan, okay? I'm the sick person. I'm the person in prison. He's living on the inside of me too. Haven't you figured that out? I go to church with you guys. We all receive Holy Communion. He's living inside me just like you. You're not better than me, and you're not below me. So why am I always so rejected and alone? Why do I have to keep making these videos reminding you all that this is not okay with God or with me? But what choice do we have? You can't force love. Love is a choice. You can't be forced. So I hope you guys are all happy being self-righteous, having your big families and your social circles and playing it safe and going to everybody else's house except for mine and inviting everybody but me and Donna and, you know, talking to everybody else at church except for me and Donna and sitting with everybody else in the pew except for me and Donna. And me and Donna are always ostracized and alone. And I've been going to that church since I was in 1986, okay? 1986. I was 6 years old. And I had my first Holy Communion there, my confirmation there. And I've always been a member of St. Augustine Parish. And still, at 45 years old, I'm still complaining that I still have not been accepted in the in crowd by my parishioners, by my fellow parishioners. I've still not made friends in that church in all these years. I've still not been invited anywhere. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I look like a normal person. I shower. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a drug addict. I don't understand why I always get treated this way. But you know what? I can't wait for people anymore. My family's not coming back, obviously. My friends are obviously not coming back. I lost all my friends and everybody. When I went to seminary, they all left. They threw me a going away party, and I never saw them again when I came back. And still to this day, 5 years later, they still haven't come back. They don't return my calls. They don't want to hang out. They don't want to come over my house. Nothing. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Is it because I didn't get to stay in seminary? You think I was rejected or something? I'm a bad person? It just doesn't make any sense. So I have to entertain myself in any way I can. And if that means turning July into Christmas on my porch, oh well. What else am I going to do? Can you blame me? I don't exactly have a lot of options. I could sit and be depressed and just go to bed at 8 o'clock and just, sit there and cry myself to sleep and be miserable. Or I can entertain myself and try to do something with my talents and to showcase them somehow, even if it's just social media, and try to be an encouragement and inspiration. And I know that there's other people in the world who feel like I do and who go through what I go through and who feel alone and alienated. So maybe this will reach them and help them realize that they're not alone. And you know what? I'm not trying to be proud or arrogant here, but I might as well say it. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's be honest. I'm not just your average person. I'm Steve Danello. Whatever that means to you, for good or for bad, I'm Steve Danello. It's not everybody that you know that can tell you that they hung out with people like Channing Tatum and Meryl Streep and Kate Winslet and Terrence Howard. It's not everybody who used to be an actor that was on their way to making it big in Hollywood until they had an experience with Jesus and his mother and decided to leave Hollywood, throw away their career that they started at age 15 and ended at age 34, just when they were starting to get the big contracts and could have been a superstar, and threw it all away to go follow Christ. Okay? How quickly people forget. Okay? It's not every day that you can brush shoulders with a so-called kind of celebrity. I used to be an actor. I was a model. I was on sides of buses and billboards. I was in magazines. I was, how quickly people forget. Or maybe you don't know that about me. But you know what? That's not who I am anymore, and I don't want people to be my friend just because of that, because that would be the wrong reason. You should like me because I'm me, not for what I used to be or who I was. You should like me because I'm a good man of God now who's given his life to try to be a saint. That should be more attractive. But even with all of my accomplishments and my impressive resumes, because I have a whole acting and model resume, which is pretty impressive, and I have a normal resume, which is still pretty impressive, and I've done a lot in life, and yet I still don't have friends or the respect of anybody. I don't get it. I don't get it. I have a feeling even if I was rich and famous, I'd still have no friends. Actually, that's not true. I had a thriving social life when I was in that business. But once I gave my life to Christ and left the business, every one of them, especially the women, just dropped me instantly and never called me back again after all I did for them. They weren't really my friend because they cared about me. It was because they wanted to say, hey, I hang out with this guy, he's an actor and a model. Oh, look, he's on TV. They wanted money. I used to pay for everybody all the time. I used to have nice cars and drive them everywhere. It was all about what I can do for them. I used to take them to red carpet events and would go to nightclubs, and I'd always have VIP access and my own table, and so people loved hanging out with me. I had benefits. It was good to be friends with Steve Danello. But then I left all that to follow Christ, and suddenly I don't want anybody to know I used to hang out with him. That Bible banging holy roller fruit loop. He's a loser. Oh, I don't want that. Amazing how you fall from grace in the eyes of man the minute you become a serious Catholic. Amazing how your whole family turns against you and throws you to the street. It's amazing how all your friends leave you. It's amazing how you lose jobs, you lose everything. But you know what? I'm just disappointed because I really thought that when I went completely all in for God, that I would have a church community, that I would have a lot of friends who were brothers and sisters in Christ, who would be my new family, my new friends, and who would like to spend time with me and enjoy my talents and think it's pretty cool. But instead, nothing. I'm actually worried that you people are either so self-righteous and proud or so, I don't know, ignorant that Jesus himself could return and you wouldn't even recognize him. Or you wouldn't even care. You'd be like, okay, so what? Because honestly, if I would, I'm not trying to make people feel bad, but when I go to Mass, I observe. I used to have anti-terrorist training. I have an impressive resume. I did a lot of stuff, government jobs, bomb checks, private detective work, bodyguard work. I did a lot of stuff, okay? I am trained to be vigilant and pay attention to my surroundings. It's called situation awareness. And so I study people, I profile them, I know what they're going to do. I'm not usually wrong. And I see everybody at church, and I'm disgusted because you guys have no reverence or fear of God. The way you receive Holy Communion, the way you dress for Mass, the way you act before and after and during Mass. I mean, I don't think you really believe that Jesus is really there in that church. Because if you really believed that he was in the Holy Eucharist, that he's in the tabernacle, that he's there, then you would be acting accordingly. You would act like you excited, like wow, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, God Almighty is in the house. We're in his presence right now. Wow. Your worship would be better. Your prayer would be more fervent. You would get on your knees when you receive Holy Communion and on the tongue. None of this walking and putting your hands out like you're getting a hamburger in a lunch line and then going and running out the door. I mean, so if you guys are so irreverent and unloving and unfriendly to God, then I can't expect you to care about me, because I'm not even God. I'm nothing compared to him. So no wonder you treat me like garbage. But you don't even treat him right. Wow. I don't know why you're Catholic at all. You might as well just go be a Protestant then, because they don't have the Eucharist. They don't have the actual Jesus Christ in the flesh in their church. They just have the Bible. Oh well. So I guess I'm not surprised. But the point is, it's ridiculous that you guys, I really thought that I'd have a lot of like-minded, like-hearted people, and I'd have a thriving social life and never have to be alone, and there'd always be somebody to call if I needed prayer, or if I wanted to talk to somebody, or if I needed help with something, or if I needed anything, And oh boy, was I mistaken. Do you know, and I'm being honest, I'm making myself look really bad right now, but I'm just being look, the one thing about Steve Dinello you're going to learn is that I'm honest. To a fault. And I think that's why people hate me. I don't put on airs and show. I tell it like it is. And what I got to tell you is embarrassing, but it's the truth. In all of these years, I only have the phone numbers of 2 people. At 2 parishioners. Most of them don't even want to be friends with me on Facebook, and if they were, they unfriended and blocked me and prevented me from messaging them. But after all these years, and all the poker nights, and all the parties, and all the church events and stuff I go to, and all the masses and everything, right? And I'm involved in the Knights of Columbus and all the meetings with them. I only have 2 friends whose numbers I have, who I can actually call, which I don't call them, I don't bother them. And those people, only one of them ever call me once in a while. And hang out with me maybe twice a year. The rest don't hang out with me. The rest don't call me. The rest don't answer if I call them. And again, like I have maybe 2 phone numbers that are active that I can actually use. The rest don't answer, and so I have maybe like 5 in my phone. 5 over the years, out of like all these years, maybe I had five people's phone numbers. In other words, what I'm saying is when I ask people to give them, hey, can I have your number? Can I call you? Will you call me? What's your email? What's your phone? Will you add me on Facebook? No, 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 no. But I've been coming here several times a week for most of my life. We sit in the pews together, like we're at all the functions together, like we're in the Knights of Columbus together. What do you mean you won't give me your phone number? That's an FU to me. That's a slap in the face. That's like, listen, Steve, I tolerate you. I know you at church, but I don't want you in my life. I don't want to be friends with you. I don't want to be associated with you. Well, what kind of brother or sister in Christ are you then? I thought Jesus specifically said, do not forsake fellowship. He wants unity, not division. He wants us to be a family, a royal family, brothers and sisters in Christ. He said that we're supposed to be there for each other in the church first, before going out to people outside the church. So why do you people act like high school kids with your little tight-knit cliques, your little social circles, and you won't let somebody like me in? And you won't come to my home, and you won't come to even if I have an event at church, you won't come, and you won't give me your phone number, or if I'm lucky, you'll say, oh, I won't give you mine, but here, let me have yours, and then you never call me, and you won't add me on Facebook. And then I love this. Oh, I don't really use social media. Oh, really? Well, that's funny, because you've been posting like Susie Homemaker all week, showing all your kids and talking to Father Turner, and I see all the people that you're friends with on there. You did forget that it's public, right? And so I've sent you 20 friend requests over the past 10 years, and you keep rejecting them. And yet you say you're not on social media, and you don't use it, but yet you're lying. I just saw that you were on there this morning. You just don't. Why do you lie to me? Don't you know that liars go to hell? Why don't you just say, Stephen, I don't want you on my social media, Stephen. I don't want to talk to you, Stephen. I want nothing to do with you, Stephen. I don't like you. So, okay, you want to know why you won't say it? Because you know darn well that if you say it, what kind of Christian are you? What kind of Catholic are you? Listen, you don't need to say it. Jesus knows it. I know it. You're a fake, phony, fraud, miserable person. You're not a good Catholic. You have no charity, no love of brother, no love of neighbor. You're just, I don't know what you think you're going to do. But I know this much, that Jesus is going to deal with all of you people who made me cry at night and hurt me and made me feel so rejected by my own parishioners. He's going to remind you on Judgment Day, when he's sending you to hell, did you not understand my word when I said, what you do to the least of these, you do unto me? Did you not realize that Stephen is my child as well? That he's one of my servants? That I live in him too? And so when you hurt him, you hurt me. When you reject him, you reject me. What you fail to do for him, you fail to do for me. Apparently you people don't read your Bible, or apparently you don't take it seriously. I don't know what your issues are, but I do know that most people do not live the gospel truly. You do not live and act like Jesus Christ, as commanded. You're lukewarm, apostate. You're suffering from tepidity. I just did a whole video on tepidity, tepid, being a tepid soul, and Jesus can't stand that. He said he'd rather you be on fire, hot or cold, but never lukewarm, never tepid. He'll vomit you out of his mouth. And so we have, obviously, a whole parish full of 99% tepid souls, from the priests all the way down. And you treat me like I'm some kind of pervert, pedophile, murderer, criminal, drug addict, loser. And you've always done it, and apparently you're never going to stop doing that. So shame on all of you. All of you. And you know what? I'm preaching to nobody here. I might as well talk to a brick wall, because the people who need to hear this, you're not even on my Facebook. You're not even going to see this video. One, you wouldn't give me the time of day to watch it. And two, you wouldn't care. But three, you can't even see it because you blocked me. I can't even contact you. You blocked me from messaging you. You blocked me from Facebook. So the people who I'm talking about right now, and they would know who they are. And there are many. We're talking over 40, maybe 100, maybe even more. And none of them are on my Facebook page. Or most of them. Maybe 5. And even those people have made it so that when I comment, only they can see my comment. Nobody else can. And I've checked this. I've had other people who are mutual friends with them just to see. I'm like, hey, did you see my comment? No, you can't. There's no comment. I'm like, yeah, it's right there now. No, it's not there. They must have blocked it. You can change your settings on social media so that if somebody like me comments on your page, I won't know that nobody else can see the comment except for you and me. That's messed up. And then when I go to send you a message, a private message on Facebook Messenger, I get blocked. And you never open it. That's real messed up. That's real high school nonsense. Grow up. Do you know how many times I've had to contact people in my parish? It was seriously important, like very, very important. Somebody was dying. It was an emergency. I was in the hospital dying. And I couldn't reach any of you. None of you. None. Because I was blocked. Do you know what it's like to be sitting in a hospital bed trying to call and nobody's answering and the numbers are blocked, and you're trying to message them on Facebook and you thought you were friends and you're blocked? Then you go to look for them on Facebook and they're gone. They unfriended you. It's bad enough to be alone in life and rejected, especially when you have an emergency. But when your own, not only your own family, but your own parish, your own parishioners do that to you, that is messed up. So I'm just going to remind you all, Jesus saw that. I saw it. I had to live through it. I shed many tears. It is traumatizing. And Jesus is going to deal with you. Rest assured, he will deal with all of you. He will make you see the pain and suffering you've caused me and other people in your life. And it will be exposed in front of everybody. So you all might, and you know what I'm getting right now? I feel like I'm being told something right now. The reason they're so cliquey and catty, the reason they do that to you, Stephen, is because they have something to hide. They know they're fake, phony, and fraud. They know they're not really living the true gospel, and you do. They don't, and it bothers them. They don't want people to know too much about them. They keep people away, and they only hang out with certain people of like mind. Birds of a feather flock together. A tight-knit, closed circle for privacy, because otherwise the church would know that they're not really Catholics, that they're not really good people. They don't want people in their inner life to see all their family trouble and dramas and divorces and adultery and alcoholic problems and whatever. So they keep somebody like me far away because they don't want anybody to know. That's what it is. They keep me out of their circle. They keep me off their Facebook. They keep me out of their life. Not because I'm dangerous or whatever. Some of them probably think I am. And you're a fool. You're a stupid fool. Idiot. For judging me and thinking I'm a crazy, dangerous person if that's what you think. You're an idiot and you need to grow up. And you need to get a brain. That's like accusing Jesus of being some kind of serial killer or something. And so you got something to hide. That's the point. That's why. If you had nothing to hide, and if you really had a heart like Jesus, and you were a loving, charitable person, a good, real Catholic Christian, then you wouldn't be acting this way. It's people who have to be the quiet ones you got to worry about, not people like me. It's the ones who have something to hide, that everything's a secret. They got to block you and keep you away. Why? What do you not want me to see? What are you afraid of? Because you know darn well that you're putting on an act. It's all an act. This is how we act in public. This is how we act at church. But then we go back and live like everybody else. And we don't want the church to know that. Oh well. God sees everything. And people like me, we read right through the lines. We can read you. We know. I know. So, you're lucky God wants anything to do with you. You're lucky that I would want anything to do with you. Honestly, if that's the kind of person you are, then you're no loss to me. I'm a good person, and I would make a real good, loyal friend. And you treat me like this, it's your loss, not mine. You're actually doing me a favor, because if you're a piece of junk like that, you're a garbage, bad person like that, an unloving, uncharitable, nasty, self-centered, unchristian person, well then guess what? We don't have anything in common. I don't need people like that. You know, nobody needs frenemies. A frenemy is an enemy who comes in guise of a friend. You think they're your friend, but they talk behind your back, they betray you, they stab. They're like Judas Iscariot. So if that's what you guys are going to be, then I'd rather not be friends with you then. Because I don't need frenemies. I got enough enemies as it is. And lastly, before I end this video, Jesus does remind us that, our friends will be the first ones to turn us into authorities during times of persecution, and that our enemies will be those within our own household when you really walk with Christ. And hence, my family became my biggest enemies, and my friends betrayed me like Judas Iscariot. And so, the Bible also says that you only need Jesus. Never put your trust or faith in man, only in Jesus Christ, the Lord. He never abandons or forsakes you. He never treats you disrespectfully or unlovingly or unmercifully. He's always there for you. People will do you dirty. They will sell you down the river for a dime. But the Lord, you never have to worry about him betraying you or hurting you or letting you down. So it's better, like the monks and the hermits and the super saints and the doctors of the church, it's better to just walk like the disciples and the apostles, just you and Jesus, than it is to have a whole congregation or parish full of people who are probably not going to go to heaven anyway in the end, and who are never going to really love and respect you and be there for you. They won't lay their life down for you, even though Jesus commands it. He says there's no greater gift than you can give a friend than to lay your life down. They won't do it for me. They won't do it for themselves. They won't do it for Jesus. What good are they? So I'm answering my own questions now, which I usually do. When I think about it, that's why I like to talk things through with myself. Because I sit there and I say, okay, here's the problem. This is what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then the wisdom kicks in. And, oh, Steve, well, after you just said all that about them, why do you want to be friends with such people? Look how they treat you. They're obviously not real Christians. Why would you want to even, why do you want their respect and love? Why do you want their company? Maybe God's protecting you from these people. Maybe you deserve better. Maybe they don't deserve you. I know you're humble and meek, and so you don't want to ever think that you're too good for them, but maybe you're the real deal and they're not. Maybe God has you set aside just for himself. He did say, I want you set aside wholly unto the Lord, a people set apart for the Lord. Many are called, which is why there's hundreds of people in the church. Few are chosen to go to heaven. Be one of the few that are chosen. So maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe I'm the male version of Mary Magdalene. Maybe I'm like the tax collector. Maybe I'm such a mess up. But the Lord loves me because he knows I love him. And he knows I depend on him for everything. And he knows that I walk with him every day. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why he doesn't let me have a career or a wife and kids. Maybe that's why I'm always alone, where it's just me and I have plenty of time to just pray and read the Bible and minister and do his work. Because if I had a social life and a family and a wife and kids and a career, I wouldn't be able to make videos like this for him. I wouldn't be able to glorify him. I wouldn't be able to work for him so much. I wouldn't be able to think about him all the time, 24/7. I wouldn't be all about his business. I wouldn't be able to be a saint. So I'm not a saint yet, but I'm trying. Because we all have to. Otherwise we're not going to get to heaven. So we need to take it very seriously, and we need to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. But, again, it would be nice if I had more people like me, to enjoy life with and to pray with. Like right now, I could have been having a good time reading the Bible and preaching and praying a rosary and stuff with some friends from church on this beautiful deck and this beautiful night. After all the decorating I did and this and that, it would be nice. Or to have a family member come over who actually cares about me. Something. But I got to go it alone all the time. But again, it's better to be alone than in bad company. So, I guess I'm just used to being alone, and that's why I do things like this. And thank God for social media, because A lot of people come and go on the video. I see the numbers going up and then the numbers go down. It goes from 0 viewers to 5 viewers down to 0 again. So I'm not alone. I'm talking to people and people are watching, and whatever. I can only imagine what you guys think of me, most of you, but I don't care. If I cared, I wouldn't throw my garbage out on the street publicly like this. I don't care what you people say and think. I only care about what Jesus says and thinks about me. That's it. He's the only one that's going to judge me. He's the only one that matters. He's the only one that's faithful to me. I owe him my life. So what other people say and think about me is none of my business, and honestly, who cares? But I will tell you that they shouldn't talk about me, because you don't really know me. You only know what I tell you on my videos on social media, but you don't really know me like God knows me. You don't know me because you never take the time to know me. You never take the time to come and spend time with me and visit me and talk to me on the phone or talk to me on Facebook. None of you take the time to become friends with me and really become part of my private life and hang out with me. So whatever you're saying or thinking about me, God only knows, but I'm sure it's wrong, because you've never come into my life and befriended me and hung out with me even for a day. So how do you know me? You know what I want you to know. You don't know all the rest. You only know what I put on social media. You don't know. You only know the tip of the iceberg, folks. There's so much more that people don't know. And it's not because I'm hiding anything. It's just because I don't have 20 hours a day to be on social media. And for what? I don't need to tell everybody everything. God knows. That's all that matters. And most of y'all don't deserve to know anyway. You're only going to use it against me or whatever, so. But anyway. Alright, well, I'm going to end this video before I talk myself into depression, because it really is a depressing conversation. You people make me so miserable and sad sometimes when I think about the reality. But whatever. It's been 45 years of this. I don't think it's going to change in the next 10, 20 years, so I guess I just got to get used to planting my own flowers. Don't wait for people to bring flowers. Plant your own garden. Just enjoy your own company. You gotta love being alone with yourself. You have to accept yourself. You have to make the most of what you can, because you're gonna be alone a lot sometimes in your life. Some of you have never had to really be alone in life. Some of you have never been homeless or in poverty or in serious pain and suffering or any of that stuff. You guys are very blessed. You have no idea, but you probably couldn't handle it if it did happen to you. So you better hope and pray it doesn't. The only reason I handle it, the only reason I'm still alive, is because God is with me, and He gets me through. My faith is the only reason I'm still here today. Most people would never. I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it. I could not have survived the things I've had to survive if I didn't have Jesus Christ. So I'm telling you the truth. So I can't boast or brag. I didn't do it on my own. I'm only here because of His good graces, until He says otherwise and He calls me home. So I try to spend my time doing things that will glorify Him and preach about Him and lead souls to Him and all that. I try. Because, that's what we're supposed to do with our life. That's the whole purpose for being created. So I spend my time doing that, my ministry, helping people, taking care of people, praying for people, intercessory prayer, thinking about God, worshiping God. The other night I spent hours singing about 20-something songs just in front of the photo of Jesus in my living room, singing out of our St. Michael's hymnal from, in my living room at 2 a.m. And then a friend called me and we were on the phone for 5 hours, praying the rosary together and talking and reading religious books together over the phone. He's in Canada. And had a great night. Great fellowship. And I have very few friends like that. In fact, my closest brothers and sisters in Christ are the ones who live in Australia, Scotland, California, Canada, Florida. They're all far away. They're people I've never actually met in person, but I've known them for years on social media, and we talk often, and we pray together, and they send me gifts, and they send me money, and they do the nicest things for me. You know, they treat me better than my own family's ever treated me, and they don't even know me in person. They've never even met me off of social media. But they're really devout Catholics like me. So birds of a feather flock together. God helped us find each other, even though the world is a big place. We connected, and they've been my loyal friends and followers for many years. And so I just wish I can get them all together one day and have them have a house party and actually meet these people in real life and hang out with them. I wish they could all live in one house or village with me so that we're close and we can be there for each other. Because they are like me. They're very single and alone. Most of them don't have anybody. They're all alone as well, just like I am. And it's just them and their faith is everything to them. And so we relate to each other because they're very much like me. Some of them are women, some of them are men. Most of them are single, or their spouses have died, or their kids have died, or whatever. And some of them are senior citizens, some of them are my age. But we all have this in common, you know, we're all very similar. So, too bad they all live all over the world. And sometimes they tell me, hey, you know, this is going on, we're being persecuted right now. I got people in, Pakistan, they're all over the place. You know, India. And we talk on a daily basis, you know, or weekly basis, and it's nice. It's nice to know that I'm not alone, that I do have people just like me who are really walking with the Lord just like me, and they're all over the world. You know, we do exist, the remnant faithful. We're just not, there's not many of us. And just like me, these people don't have major social circles. They don't have, you know, a lot of church friends or whatever. So, yeah.
Creepy guy right near my house at the mailboxes.
Really?
He's sitting there with the car off. He's got a hoodie on his head.
Oh, I think his name is Kevin. He lives over there.
The white Jeep. He's got a white Jeep.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, look, I took a picture of the Jeep.
Hold on.
And I drove by.
See, I just shut all the candles and everything off, and hold on, I can't see. I don't have my glasses. Hold on.
They don't live here.
Wait a minute. Huh.
That
Are you
dude?
sure?
Not that I know of. Who is that?
I don't know. Do you have a photo of him?
No, he's got.
They drove by here really slow. They've been coming through.
Yeah, and he's sitting in the car with it off with a hoodie on his head like this. He's got a goatee. You can tell he's about 55, 60 years old.
I have no idea.
He's got a hoodie and he's just sitting there in the dark. What the fuck? I'm not getting out of my car and going inside.
Well, that's why you have cameras and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's not going to help me if he knifes me to death.
Well, then maybe I should keep my lights on. So no, that's why.
He came this way?
Yeah, he stopped right here. And I thought he was somebody in the park admiring all my stuff because I had all the lights on. I had candles on. It was really lit up like Christmas.
No, he's all by himself.
Oh, well, I don't know.
And he doesn't live here, so what in the fuck?
Then report him to the police. Call the police. You have a license plate, right?
Yeah, I got the plate,
Then make sure you show the police now because he could be wanted. There are drug dealers and murderers around here in these parks. I told you. That's why I told you to put your cameras out. They break in. They tried to get in here one time at 2 in the morning with a crowbar.
I don't know if he's thinking of doing a robbery.
Maybe skulk. Sometimes they'll go and they'll case the place. They'll case the joint. Yeah. Look,
let me call.
Yes, you should call the police.
Let me go back and I'm going to see if he left, and I'll text you.
Well,
I'll let you know.
I noticed that he's been around here many times, and not just him, other cars too, and they stop here. Yeah. Sometimes they'll park over here and they'll shine their high beams on my trailer, and then they take off. So this has been going on for years now, so I feel like I'm being stalked or watched or whatever. That's why
they might want to steal our stuff when you're not looking.
They want to steal my Christmas tree? Go ahead. If you're that desperate, take my Christmas decorations. In the middle of July, go ahead.
Ralph, let me go back and see if he's there. I'll text you. I'll let you know.
Where's Ralph? Is he home?
No, he's not here.
Then be careful then, because you are by yourself. Well, you can always come here until Ralph gets. Is he coming home?
Even if he left, I'm creeped out now.
You should be. be careful. And that's why we don't like it being so dark on this side of the park. There's no lights or security.
Maybe I should.
That's why I put these gates up on here so I can hear if somebody tries to get.
He doesn't belong in here if he doesn't live here.
No, absolutely not. But he might be one of the. They do drug deals here and stuff.
All right, Ralph.
So
I'll call you right
call
back.
the police. Is that him?
Yeah, I think.
No, that was blue.
No. Let me go back and see if he left.
Look, you know where to call me, or you can always come here if there's a problem.
Okay.
All right. Yep, no problem. Be safe. Yeah, see, so this is what I'm talking about. One of the wonderful things of living in a trailer park is you have a lot of drug dealers and criminals, and they try to kill you and rob you and break into your home and steal your stuff. It's always something around here. That's why I have Maverick, a watchdog, and a lot of people have cameras outside their trailers recording on their phones, so that, and the lights that turn on when people come around. And I have a lot of enemies out there too, so you know, you never know when somebody's going to come and stalk you and try to kill you. That car has been here for about an hour. He drove by about an hour ago when I was out making this video, and he stopped outside my house, and I just thought he was one of the neighbors maybe looking at my lights. But he's hanging out over there near her trailer, just parked in the middle near the mailboxes for no reason. He doesn't live here. He's got a hoodie on and a goatee, and he's just sitting in his car by himself. And it's late at night. What time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock at night. He has no business being here. So what is he doing here? Just sitting in the middle of a parking lot for no reason. And she's scared because she's a single woman living alone over there. And she's around my age. And he's right outside her trailer. So she's afraid to get out of the car because he might, grab her or something. So I don't know why she didn't think to call the police immediately. She got his license plate, though. So these are things I have to deal with, too. It is scary and dangerous around here. And they have tried to crowbar their way into our home here. When I was in the other trailer, one night at 2 a.m, even though I had all my lights on, I had a door like this right next to my bed, right next to my bedroom. And I was in bed, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear somebody trying to break in with a crowbar, and I'm like, I'm here, I'm right now, I'm awake, I know you're there, and they still kept trying to break the door in. Finally, they took off and left. So I don't know what that was about. And then another time, it was during the day. I think it was a Sunday, and it was Sunday afternoon. It was during the day, and my friend, I was in the shower or in the bathroom getting ready, and my friend Steven from church, we were about to get together to go to a church function or whatever, and Steven was sitting in the dining room in front of the front door, and the front door was unlocked. It was shut, but it was unlocked. And I had a thing on the door, so like it goes bing, bing, every time you, like at a business, when the door opens, it goes bing, bing. And so Steve was sitting there, and so if somebody tried to come in, he would have been the first thing they saw. He was sitting right there near the, hold on. Is that the truck now? Yeah, he just took off. That's the truck she's talking about. There he goes. So he's leaving now. Anyway, so Stephen was sitting in the dining room in front of the front door in my mobile home, and I was down the hall, like the other end of the trailer, and brushing my teeth. And then all of a sudden, Stephen comes into the bathroom, and he's outside the door to talk to me while I'm brushing my teeth, and we both hear ding, ding, and then we hear the door slam, and somebody went running, and it was in broad daylight, and because I had a screen door on the outside, and then when we both ran down the hall to see who was in my house, and whoever it was had come into the house, left the door wide open, and ran because the alarm went off. And so that's scary that people are coming into my house in the middle of the day, even when there's cars in the driveway, even, and then trying to break in at 2 a.m. Then I had this guy named Tyler Tyrone who was stalking me, and he came and made a big scene at seminary, one of the seminaries in Connecticut, and showed up there, and he was demonically possessed because we had adoration going on, and he would not step in. I saw him walking around outside the chapel, so I go out there, I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm here for you. I'm like, why? He's like, I gotta talk to you. And I'm like, why don't you come inside? We're in the middle of, go to confession, we're having confession and adoration. And he goes, No, I'm not. He couldn't step in. Every time he tried to step into the doorway, Jesus was exposed in the monstrance, and he would like get thrown back. So he goes, I'll meet you after downstairs. We had a party in the basement downstairs afterwards where there's food and everything. And so he came down there where there's no, tabernacle, no church. And he was down there, and he was going around showing people photos of me and all my guy friends that he took off my social media and saying to everybody that I'm sleeping with all these men. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? None of these people are gay. He's married with kids. This one's a pastor. This one's my friend Stevie. What is wrong with you? And he was crazy. He was crazy. And then he started telling people all these crazy lies about me, trying to say that I tried to make advances on him. I'm like, not even if you were the last thing on the earth would I do that. I mean, this guy's, I'm trying to be nice here, but trust me, a woolly mammoth would turn him down. So I'm just like, but then he was telling me things about how he urinated on a crucifix, and he all these demonic things, and he was involved in witchcraft, and the kid's definitely possessed. And so anyway, he would go outside my trailer, and one night I fell asleep around 10 o'clock at night. I had my windows open and in my bedroom, and I wake up, and it's dark. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and you can like literally walk up to my window in the other trailer and like look right in, and my bed is right there. And so I just sense like I'm being watched, and I look out the window, and he's just standing there like this, and I'm like, how long have you been out there? Couple hours. I'm like, doing what? Watching you sleep. Why? Because the voices in my head told me I got to come here and kill you. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, just come in the house, please. Let's have some coffee, talk. Normally people would call the police. I let him into the house. I threw holy water on him, and then we had a talk on the couch or whatever. And then a couple other times he did stuff like that. So obviously he was whatever messed up, but I instead of calling the police, I invited him into my house and whatever. So I wonder if he's ever going to be around again one day and stalk me again. A couple years ago at nighttime around 2 a.m, I was laying in the bed here, in my bedroom here, and it's pretty elevated. Like you can't get to the window unless you're like 10 feet tall. And I hear this like a knife up against the glass and like this cutting sound. So I get up and turn the lights on, and I open the window, and somebody had taken a knife and gashed the screen and sliced the screen open, and then ran off. I also noticed many times when it snows out, there's footprints in the fresh snow going all around my trailer and up to my bedroom windows, and then across the park and out down the street. And they also go around my car. Like somebody's, and this is often, like, it's like, oh my gosh, who's always stalking me and leaving footprints that are very obvious in the fresh snow going right to my bedroom window and then out? Like, that's creepy. So, that's why you got to keep Jesus with you at all times. You got to be in a state of grace. You got to have the Blessed Mother and Saint Michael and Jesus, and pray your rosary, because, folks, we are in dangerous times, and people like me who are all over the internet, because we used to be actors and models, and now we're evangelists and stuff, you're going to get creepy, crazy, demonically possessed people to try to kill you, stalk you, whatever. And I've had that happen many times in my life. I've had stalkers. Even when my dad was alive, he was a cop, and we had to have surveillance camera lights put outside and stuff, with motion lights and stuff, because people kept calling, and I had to keep changing my phone numbers, telling me, they wanted me to meet with them, or why can't they figure out where I live? What am I in the witness protection program? And then people would come to the house at night and stuff and walk around, try to break in, or just come onto the property. And so that's another reason why my family didn't like me, because I was up and coming and becoming famous and bringing a lot of attention, and they want to be quiet. They want to be unknown, and I was always bringing a lot of attention to the family, and so they didn't like that. They were worried that we were going to have cuckoo fans and crazy people coming to the house, which they did. So my family was upset with me about that too. So again, we're in 2025, we're in the end times, and we're also Christians. So we have every reason to be concerned for our safety in these times, folks, because these are dangerous times. You got to be careful. People are getting kidnapped and satanically ritualized and murdered, and you know, there's just all kinds of demonically oppressed and possessed people in this world. And the devil will send them, because they don't have God to protect them. He will send them out to cause crimes and kill people like us, you know. And they're also going to round us up eventually soon during the Antichrist regime, you know, in the end times, to put us to death and martyr us because we're Christians. So we got that to look forward to in the near future. So, again, another reason why I did this tonight. Because you never know when you're going to... Because some unchristian person decides it's your time, and or the government arrests you or something because you're preaching the gospel. I have friends, sometimes I post their stuff on my Facebook page, and they're sending me private emails saying, Steve, I'm getting in trouble, I'm getting arrested because I was outside of a Planned Parenthood, or I was praying the rosary in public, or whatever, I'm getting arrested, or they're really persecuting Christians now in my country, and like Scotland is really bad now, and Australia. So I have people always like, hey, pray for me, help me. If something happens and you don't hear from me anymore, it's probably because I'm either dead or in prison because I'm preaching the gospel and I'm getting in trouble, and you know, they're threatening me, and I lost my job, and they're passing all these laws that are literally anti-Christian laws that can arrest us for anything. And so it's really happening. Is it happening there in America? I'm like, well, yeah, but it just doesn't hit mainstream media yet. But yes, it does happen here too, but not as much as other countries. So, folks, it's on. That's why I do this. I'm trying to bring you real life, you know, situations and testimony, and trying to show you where we're at and what's really going on, and also let you into my brain and let you into my personal life, so you can see what a real lay Catholic person, a devout Catholic, what they live like and what they do and what their life is like. You know, most people don't want to talk about it or share it, or they're whatever, they like their privacy. Me, I try to be an example to everybody, and use my personal experience and testimony to help encourage and build people up in the faith, and to teach and preach and all that. So, you know, whatever. I'm not you, you're not me, I'm not Joel Osteen, I'm not the Pope, I'm just me. We're all different. We all have our own flavor, our own style. We're all unique. God doesn't want a bunch of cookie-cutter people. He wants unique, one-of-a-kind saints, you know, with their own personalities and their own missions and their own talents. And so I'm just trying to be the best saint for Steve to know that I can be for the Lord. He compares me to nobody else. We're all different, and, you know, I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have. So that's what this is all about. And so anyway, thank you for watching this video and spending time with me, and I hope it's food for thought. I hope it inspired you. I hope it helped some of you people who go through what I go through feel a little less alone. You're not alone in this. There's other people that go through the same thing, and the alienation and the persecution and the loneliness and the depression and whatever. So keep on fighting the good fight. Stay faithful to the Lord, and just keep fighting. God bless.